Welcome in, everybody. We are live on the Browns Report on a Wednesday afternoon, as we always do. I'm your host, Joey O'Donohue. I'm ready to have some fun. I'm ready to talk about the Cleveland Browns with all of you guys. Browns news, Browns rumors. What's the latest? What's going on? Let's have some fun today. So, can I get a dog check? Where are you tuning in from? Shout out your city in the comment section, or your state, or your country, wherever you want to shout out. Tell me where you're tuning in from here to party on the Browns Report and have some fun. Let's take a look at what we got. Who is out here today? I see Ty Man with the OH. Johnny, Bristol, Tennessee. No kidding, man. I used to work in Bristol, Connecticut, where ESPN is located. Chatta in Kansas City. Lindsay in Milan, Ohio, as opposed to Milan, Italy. But guess what? We're all about Ohio on the show here, so we will take that, Lindsay. Harry Williams, Akron, baby. I love it. Alan Peck in Cleveland. Jim in Mentor, Ohio. Mike Johnson, East Texas. Dave Rowe, Rebecca, Georgia. John Weston in Nebraska. That's pretty cool. Scottsbluff, Nebraska. What a location. Never been. WF from Las Vegas. That's pretty cool. Woof, woof. I love it. I love it. We got Cape Coral, Florida from Scott Maines. Chris, Fort Worth, Texas. No kidding. Robert Colbert in Sacramento. Joe in Kendall, New York. I see Scott, Decatur, Georgia. Sacramento, Akron for Clint. Look at this. We got people everywhere. Matt McGuire, the homeboy. What's going on? North Ridgeville, Ohio. I love seeing all the Ohios we got. Look at this. Michael's in Cleveland, Ohio. Josh is in Long Bottom, Ohio. Lindsay Wade in Chicago. We got people all across the nation, all across the country here for the Brownies. That's what I'm talking about, people. Shout out your city. Hey, that's pretty cool. Germany for Lewis. Look at that. Well, that's actually a great segue there. Lewis Schmidt wants a wide receiver for Shedeur Sanders. Well, the Browns have a top 6 pick, folks. Okay? All right, we're going to have our choice here. We can go wide receiver. We can go offensive line. We could go Caleb Downs if he's there. What do you want the Cleveland Browns to do? Be the GM for me, okay? Play Andrew Barry's role. What do you want the Browns to do with the 6 picks? Who do you want Cleveland to draft at number 6? Comment down below. Prove you know ball. What is going on, Rose? First super chat of the day gets this party started. Shout out to Rose with the $2 super chat. Let me know who you guys want with the 6th pick. Matthew is down for Francis Maui Noah at 6, and you get a wide receiver at 24. I'd be super thrilled with that, Matthew, for sure. Get like Denzel Boston at 24 and Maui Noah early. I'm cool with that. Time in, the Ohio State Buckeye fan wants Carnell Tate. And Lindsay wants a different Buckeye, Caleb Downs. So I'm saying, like, there's a lot of directions to go with this pick. That's going to be part of our show today, is where Cleveland can go. Yeah, I'm with you, Clint Spencer. Boston is a stud, man. If he falls to 24, it's a dream, especially if you've taken a lineman already. Yeah, I feel that, Mitch. Absolutely. What's up, Mike Nintendo? Good to see you, my guy. And shout out to Rose for the $2 super chat. First of the day. Afternoon, folks. Everybody say afternoon to Rose. We're getting the party started here live on the Browns Report. We've got an action-packed show coming up for you guys today. And we will end the show with a Q&A mailbag. So get those questions in by super chatting to be on the show or use the hashtag Browns. First segment on the show today, we got 3 big Browns rumors. Okay, a trade rumor, and then free agency rumors from ESPN. We're going to talk about the Browns' new defensive coordinator. Deeper dive on him. I think Cleveland actually made a decent move here. Number 6 pick. We start the show asking your opinions. I'm going to tell you what I'm hearing here, what Deion Sanders thinks about it. We have got all the rumors for that top 6 pick, okay? And then, like I said, we'll do a mailbag, super chat, or use the hashtag Browns to get on the show in that way. Make your questions heard, your voices heard. Comment in that live chat, put a hashtag Browns next to it, and that's how we can get your take on the show. Producer JD will go through and look when we get to that segment, but Super Chats automatically make it on the show and in our video. So shout out to you guys. Shout out Rose again with the $5 Super Chat. That's an old one. Switched it up on you, JD. But what Rose was trying to say was off topic. Taking my Spanish friends to the next Browns game in Europe. I'm packing as much Browns gear and the Ohio flag to represente. Shout out to Rose. Rep the dog pound internationally. I love it. That's actually pretty cool, Rose. So that's sick. Like France, I believe the Browns might be playing in France against the Saints this year. Is that where you're going? That's pretty sick. Heck yeah, rep the dog pound everywhere you go, baby. Shout out to Rose with the $5 Super Chat. All right. And then, guys, look. I was talking to JD, producer JD, right? Listen, if you want to pop on screen, JD, you can. Because JD, I got a haircut. I would never get the JD haircut. I'm sorry, JD. But, he said my beard's getting long. I get it. I'm growing it out at the moment. Okay, the ladies like it. But he said I should make a deal. So I said I would make a deal with the people here on the live stream today. All right, if we get to $150 in Super Chats today, total. All right, so it doesn't have to be one person. If everybody combines for $150 in Super Chats, I'll shave my beard clean tonight. The whole thing. We've been working on it. It's connecting. I'll get rid of all of it if we get to $150 in Super Chats, okay? That's the deal I'll make for everybody today. So, and like I said, you can be on the show. We get a shout out to everybody that sends us the Super Chat, and you'll be a part of our mailbag Q&A video. So, lots of fun to have on today's stream. Like I said, lots of rumors coming up, lots of Browns news. So it will be a pretty fun party here on today's show. That's the deal. That's the deal for the people. And like I said, Super Chat can get you in the mailbag or use the hashtag Browns to get a question or take in. Robert Culver said, love a good beard. I know the people might make me shave it all off, Kathy. Clint Spencer knows. That's what I'm saying. It's been working. They're trying to nerf me over here. $150 in supers, and I'll do it. But all right, folks. Keep that in mind as we get ready to get into our first segment here and do the Q&A at the end of the show. Super Chat to automatically get in. Alrighty. Got the first segment feeling good, JD? Feeling ready? All right, sweet. I think we can almost get into this one here. In terms of the deal, Rose has got the party started with $7 total. If we get to $150, I'll do it. All right, folks. First thing we're going to talk about is the latest for Cleveland. So, without further ado, let's get ready and let's hop into segment one. Coming up on today's show, I'm your host, Joey O'Donohue. Welcome into the Browns Report. We've got major free agency rumors for Cleveland from ESPN, as well as a re-signing rumor for the Brownies. Free agency just around the corner. What is Cleveland going to do? And finally, could a new trade candidate have just emerged for the Brownies? We're going to dive into everything, the latest with the Browns. But there's one thing I know the Browns need, and two of these rumors feature this position. So, if you want the Browns to sign an offensive lineman in this offseason, like the video right now. I need you to smash that like button. I'd be tapping it with everything that I have because, my goodness, if we don't sign an offensive lineman, I'm going to crash out. So if you want them to sign at least one, tap that like button right now. Let's get some protection beef this thing up, give the quarterback some time to throw, man. Hit the like button if you want the Brownies to bring in another offensive lineman. And maybe you'd be happy to know that the first rumor from ESPN is that Cleveland could sign Rasheed Walker. They have listed the best fit for Walker as the Cleveland Browns, and that this deal would be more likely as opposed to the other free agents on the list. Here is what Matt Bowen had to say, ESPN analyst. With needs across the offensive line, the Browns should target Walker, the top offensive tackle on our board. His pass block win rate, 93.8%, with the Packers ranked 11th amongst 68 qualifying offensive tackles in 2025. He should be viewed as an upgrade in Cleveland as new coach Todd Monken rebuilds the front. Let's talk about Rasheed Walker, who is a younger tackle option here in free agency at 26 years old, went to Penn State. ESPN had him ranked 8th in terms of all free agents across the board. Now, I don't know that the numbers scream to me he's a top 8 free agent on the board, but he's a very solid starting offensive tackle. He's young, as I showed you guys. Overall grade on PFF this last season was 66.3, allowed 5 sacks, only 1 hit. Did give up 31 pressures, though, and 9 penalties, which, to my point, it's not amazing. He's not like a superstar, boom, we got our big deal offensive lineman, we're good. But he is an above-average starter on the line, plays left tackle. So you do have to consider having DeJuan Jones at left tackle as well if he comes back. I do think you could argue Walker is an upgrade, also younger, less injury-ridden than DeJuan Jones. And so consider Rasheed Walker for the Brownies. That's what ESPN thinks is going to happen. And I want your opinion, as I always do. So you tell me, should the Browns sign Rasheed Walker, the former Green Bay Packer offensive tackle? Unless he resigns there, he'll be the current Green Bay tackle again. But he's a free agent, so give me your thoughts. Type Y for yes, type N for no. What do you think about this idea pitched by ESPN analyst Ben Bowen of the Browns signing Rasheed Walker? Like I said, we got 2 more rumors to talk about here, but it is party time, okay? I'm getting excited. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. The Browns are going to make moves this offseason. We're going to have some fun. Well, you're going to want your drink on for whatever Cleveland does. So we've got Cleveland Drinking Team merch here now at chatsports.com/BrownsGreen. Rep the dog pound this St. Patty's Day. Party hard like we do here on the show. I think it's a really fun shirt. Cool design. It is limited edition. You can only get this now at chatsports.com/BrownsGreen. And they are selling. So get it before it runs out here. Get your drink on. It's a lot of fun. And I think Browns fans to see you rocking it will think that's pretty cool. Where'd you get that, man? Cleveland Drinking Team. Join the party. Join the family at chatsports.com/BrownsGreen and get yours now to celebrate St. Patrick's Day as a Browns fan. The next item on the list of this ESPN piece is that Joel Bitonio fits with the Browns and will re-sign with the team. Bitonio been mulling retirement. There's been a lot of rumors here, so let's get into this situation real quick for everybody. Matt Bowen said this: Bitonio, 34, could opt for retirement, but if he plays in 2026, the Browns should re-sign the veteran guard on a short-term deal. It would bring much-needed experience back to the O-line in Coach Todd Monken's offense. Bitonio only allowed 2 sacks in 2025. And if you didn't know, the Browns and Bitonio have moved the void date on his contract to the start of the new league year in March. I believe March 10th is the official date here. His contract was initially supposed to void on Monday. And if you didn't realize, well, if he's been mulling retirement, okay, and now he'll have more time to make a decision. If that contract had voided on Monday, it would have been a $23 million dead cap charge accelerated to the 2026 season for the Cleveland Browns. So now he's got more time to make this decision, more time to decide, do I want to run this back probably 1 more year, 2 at most, or should I hang this thing up? We know he does want to retire a Cleveland Brown. Like, I don't see him, like, testing the market here. But that is the current situation with Bitonio. And honestly, I do think the best-case scenario for the Browns is to re-sign Bitonio for cheap right now. Short-term deal, it won't be expensive. He we're going to have an entirely new offensive line. To have a guy like Bitonio still in that room, who's been an all-pro, who was actually solid last season despite how bad everybody else was, I don't think that would be a bad thing to have in the room for the Cleveland Browns. He's also beloved in Cleveland. And like I said, look at the PFF grades from 2025. Actually relatively decent compared to everybody else on the Browns O-line. I mean, pass blocking grade of 75.1. You see the numbers on your screen. No penalties and only a sack allowed for Bitonio. And so, to my point, he was solid last year. Teller, a free agent also. Perhaps you could argue we bring back Teller instead of Bitonio and or both. You probably get one on a short-term, cheap deal, which isn't a bad thing in my opinion. And when you consider the Browns have so many holes to fill on that offensive line this year, it'd be nice to have one less for a cheap, easy in-house solution. Okay? You're still going to go out and get 3 to 6 new offensive linemen coupled with the draft and free agency. Even if Bitonio's a mentor that rotates in and out at guard, I think that would serve Cleveland well this next season. But you let me know. Would you want the Browns to re-sign Joel Bitonio? Type R for re-sign. Type D for don't. If you think you should just hang it up, it's over. Comment D. But let me know your opinions in the chat. What should the Brownies do with Bitonio? One more rumor to get to on today's show. And have you heard the latest with C.J. Stroud? Check out this report from Todd McShay. I'm told, don't be surprised the next couple weeks as we get closer and closer to free agency. There's going to be some big-name quarterbacks that are currently in destinations that have contracts that are going to be targeted. Teams are going to be aggressive, and C.J. Stroud is one of them. Does he need a change of scenery? Be prepared for that. Wow. That is the hottest C.J. Stroud rumors have been. They're swirling and coming up here. Let's talk about it a bit. I think this is the only time to buy on Stroud, right? His value is as low as it's ever been. And look, I'm not saying I think Cleveland should do it. I'll get into my take on the matter here. I'm just saying this is why it's a thing right now. Because it's the lowest his trade value's ever been. He's on a rookie contract, 4-year deal that he signed very recently for $36 million total. Okay? He's only 24 years old, also went to the Ohio State University, as you guys know. Stroud's rookie year, super impressive. Okay? You can't take that away from him when he got into the league in 22 and just threw 41 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. Has there been a decline lately? Yes, certainly the past 2 seasons. But more than anything, it's the playoffs that have crushed C.J. Stroud, especially this postseason in 2025. The 2 games that he played, this is where people are giving up on C.J. Stroud, saying that he's out. I mean, 5 interceptions. You win that game against the Patriots if you're the Texans with 80% of the other quarterbacks in the league? I mean, the guy threw 4 interceptions. 5 fumbles, 2 of them lost. It was unlike anything I've ever seen from C.J. Stroud, to be quite frank. And so you see how bad he looked when the Texans' O-line didn't show up. He would not be going to a better system. He would not be going to a better offensive line if he came to Cleveland. And as much as I love C.J. Stroud from his Buckeye days, does he have one elite trait you could point to? He's not super mobile. He's got a good arm. He's not a Josh Allen rocket arm. His accuracy is supposed to be his trait. But when you see the numbers that I just showed you from the postseason, what good is C.J. Stroud at? And that's the issue. We don't even, we don't need another archetype like that in Cleveland, I would say. I would need the right deal. I would need the Texans to literally be giving up on him. But guess what? What the Texans value C.J. Stroud at is not what other teams are going to pay for him. They're going to want too much, and you just can't justify that off the postseason he just had. And may I remind you of the last time we traded for a Texans quarterback, okay? You know who? We gave up 3 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson. Let's not deal with Texans quarterbacks ever again. All right? We also gave him $200 million guaranteed. So, no thanks. If I had to come up with a trade cost, though, for C.J. Stroud, it's probably something like this. It's either your later first-round pick, 24, or I think the Texans are going to want like a second and a third for Stroud right now. Well, might even be more than that. But let's say this is somewhat of a compromise. Would you give up our second and third round pick to bring in C.J. Stroud right now? And honestly, I think you could get it. The Browns are going to get some value pieces in the second and third round this year, just like they did last year. I don't know that I'd do this. But would you? Would you accept this trade? Type A for accept, type D for decline to bring C.J. Stroud to the Browns? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. But those second and third rounders were very valuable for the Browns last year. I think they'd be very valuable this year in this class. And the Texans might want even more than that. Like, they might want firsts. And teams aren't paying Stroud first right now. So I think there's no chance that he actually gets moved here. But there was a report I had to share with you guys and get your thoughts, as I always do. So hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you all rocking with me here on today's Browns Report episode. You guys are the best. And I'll have more videos coming out for you every single day. That's right. Every day. So, subscribe. Appreciate you all. I'll see you soon. Cool. Let's see what people are saying. People declining it. Got one accept. Shoot, I broke my thingy, JD. Broke my strap thingy here. For my ID. Really? Oh my goodness, mine's cooked. Gotta tell someone about this. All right, what are the people saying? Say it ain't so, Joe. D, I worry about pressure in big games. That's the thing. Texans haven't gone past the wild card. Well, a couple wild card wins. They haven't gone further than that. Shout out to Chris. Chris B with the $2 super chat. Wide receiver at 6, offensive tackle at 24. You can flip it and do that too. Okay, I am so excited for draft season, man. This is the most awesome time of year. When we go live for the draft for the Browns' 2 first-round picks, I can't wait to see what we do. Because you could do it like this. You could take your receiver. You could take Carnell Tate. You could take Makai Lemon, who I love, by the way. Makai Lemon, he might end up being wide receiver 1 in the class. Guy's a warrior. And then get like Monroe Freeling. If Vega fell, Ioane fell to 24. That's a dream, low-key. Caleb Lomu, perhaps, but I think a safer option would be better for the Browns. Like, we could do it this way for sure, Chris. Shout out to Chris, who could be in our mailbag today with that super chat question. Shout out to Chris. Yeah, we can remind the people of the deal, JD. All right, I've been growing out the beard. It's gotten pretty long. I think it's time I try to shave it. So, if you guys party hard enough, if we get to 150 in supers today, I'll shave my beard clean. All right? We're at a total of 9 right now. So, you guys, I'm literally going to get rid of the whole thing, folks. The whole thing. Or if we get to 150 total in super chat. So, start partying. See if you can make me do it. And it won't go unnoticed. You'll also be a part of our mailbag if you super chat with a question or take on it. Or use the hashtag Browns in the live chat. And we will make sure we try to get to as many as possible at the end of the show. Dave says, don't do it. Don't trade for Stroud. We got our guy Shador. That's what Clint Spencer said. I love it. I love it. Wolf says we should send in the supers, try to get me clean. Get me cleaned up. I like it. All right, next thing we're going to talk about is something that our old friend, I don't even know if he's our friend anymore, but Kevin Stefanski over in Atlanta, they're actually helping us out. Wait till you hear this. Hey, shout out to George with a $10 super chat. Yeah, let's do that. Shout out to George with the 10, baby. He said, I like the Cowboys. Trade back. Dude, that's a dream scenario, George. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling y'all. And some people want a first next year. Really? Yeah. Yeah. Dude. All right, hold on. Let's get George on. Let's have you hop on for it. If your mic's... Do you have a mic? Guys, I don't know if you know, producer JD likes the Cowboys. Let's make a trade. Let's do the deal. Rebecca said sign Tyreek Hill. Nah. We could. George, $10 super chat. Shout out to George. What a beast. He said, W. Said, I like the Cowboys. Trade. Trade back. Get 3 firsts for the Browns. That's the only trade I accept. George, this would be perfect. I love it. Cleveland have 3 first-round picks. We'd have 12, 20, and 24. You know what we could do with 12, 20, and 24? You get 2 offensive linemen and your stud wide receiver. And we're so back. JD's telling me he would do it, and he's from the Cowboys' perspective too. Like, this is the actual deal that could take place. What are you saying?
So, as a Cowboys fan, personally, all the guys I like are probably not going to be there at 12. Preferably Sony Styles. I think he may be gone. If David Bailey is available at 6 still, which, it's a 50-50 ball right now. I would make that trade in a heartbeat. I love David Bailey.
Dude, he's a dog.
Dude, beast.
He's a dog. If the Browns need a D-line, I would be all over David Bailey. He destroyed like the best, every good offensive lineman in this draft. He's got like good tape on all of them.
The Miami game in the playoffs spoke it. Like it,
Dude.
He dominated that game.
Dude.
And those weren't small linemen. Those were grown men. Like They were huge.
It was Maui Noah.
Exactly.
It was one of the best offensive lines in college football. Miami. Dude, Bailey is a dog. So that's what I'm saying. Or Caleb Downs, I heard the Cowboys might want. Downs might be the best player in the class.
Oh, dude, Downs he's a freak athlete. He is just
freak.
He flies across the field like nothing. Like,
dude, great tackling safety. He's just football ready. So that's why it's possible. The Cowboys desperately need defensive pieces. We need offensive pieces. They might move up. This is a defensive draft. I don't know. But maybe we have to get their first-round pick next year. That's what I heard some other guys say, because that draft will have some better offensive players for Cleveland. I don't know. But I love trading down with the Cowboys. That is my number one scenario for the Browns, if we could swing that. Which one? 20? Dude, no. Cowboys need they need to get the defensive guys at the top. Yeah. I think they might do it. Guys, get ready for draft day. Aside from Jerry Jones sending Micah out. Alrighty. Man, that'd be great, guys. We're going to have a lot of fun on draft day. I'll tell you that. We'll be live for it on the channel. We'll all be reacting together about the draft picks. That's going to be so fun. All right. So, next video we are going to hit is a gift. Falcons just gave us a gift, guys. Diving into it here on the show. So, if you're ready, JD, I am ready as well. Yeah, people are like, yo, why is there a president on the screen? Surprise. All right, see if it works again. Unless you just want to. All right. Yeah. The Cleveland Browns just got a gift from the Atlanta Falcons, of all teams. That's right. This is going to help the Browns next year. And our old friend, should I say friend? I guess I should. Kevin Stefanski said something that I think you guys are going to find hilarious. So, they're gifting us some good news. Let's talk about it here on today's show. But there's one thing I want to do. I want to beat Falcons fans, Browns fans, okay? They've got Kevin Stefanski. I'll be damned if we lose to Falcons fans in the Falcons channel at Chat Sports. We have a subscriber battle going on right now at the company. We're starting fresh. We're starting clean from today to the rest of the week. Who can gain more subscribers, the Browns channel or the Falcons channel? I need the dog pound to show up. Let's go beat Kevin Stefanski. Let's beat those Falcons fans. We also play each other next season. I want to win on the field. I want to win off the field against them. And Cleveland could be laughing all the way to the bank, having some fun. So hit that subscribe button. It is free. And without further ado, let's talk about the two pieces of news we got here for Cleveland from Atlanta. As you have heard by now, I'm sure, I was one of the first people to hop on it. That's why you hit that subscribe button. The Browns have hired their new defensive coordinator, Mike Rutenberg. All right, Coach Rudy, they call him, over from Atlanta. Did a deep dive on him. I'm actually kind of excited about the hire. I'm kind of getting gassed up the more I read about Rutenberg, okay? I've told you guys he worked under Robert Saleh extensively for many years. Well, check out this from Connor Hughes of SNY, who talked to Robert Saleh, said, I remember talking to Robert Saleh about his original young staff with the Jets when he first got hired. Rutenberg was one of the guys he pointed out, said, it won't be long before he is a DC. Saleh said that a couple of years ago. Coaches that work with Rutenberg see it in him. He's got experience. He's been with the Jaguars staff from 2013 to 2019, various different roles there, but DB coach, linebacker coach, defensive assistant, did it all, moved up, then went to San Francisco in 2020, pass game specialist. New York, he was the linebackers coach from 21 to 24. That is where he really got to work under Robert Saleh for a while, and Saleh loved him. And then obviously his most recent role was the defensive pass game coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. I told you guys he worked under Saleh. He also worked under Jeff Ulbrich. And this is what Ulbrich had to say about Mike Rutenberg. Specifically, he is one of the best teachers in this league. He understands the back end at a PhD plus level. He's a huge part of our success back there. Whether he gets a coordinator job this season or next, it's inevitable. He is too good of a coach. Guys, telling you, these coaches rave about him. Smart guy, great personality, person you want in the building. And that is going to be the next DC of the Cleveland Browns. I'm feeling more and more excited about it the more and more we talk about it. He is loved by the players and the coaches. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about Rutenberg. I showed you how much the coaches rave about him. Well, guess what? Players are big fans as well. And this you can even look at last season. The Falcons quarterback, Michael Penix, had this to say about Rutenberg. He said, I said to him, you're a dog. And he said, I effing know. Penix laughed about it. Said, that's what he is, man. He's a guy that cares. And you could see the passion he has for this game and love he has for this team. You could tell that this is what he loves to do, and he displays it each and every day. That is what I'm talking about. Guys that are determined, guys that are passionate about the sport, want to make waves, smart and hardworking. Jim Schwartz, as much as we liked him in Cleveland, 60 years old, kind of just wanted to be a head coach or bust. Rutenberg, getting a DC opportunity, he's like, this is my time. Same with Todd Monken, first-time head coach. They want to prove something. We have hungry guys on our staff now. That's the mentality that Cleveland needs going into next season. Rutenberg fits it. Also, helped coach up some all-pro linebackers and defensive backs in his career. And as I showed you in the list of his experience, that's where he specialized. So you can attribute some of those players' success to Rutenberg, scheming it up back there. Ulbrich said he knows it like a PhD plus level. I mean, think about Jesse Bates, who's an all-pro. Xavier Watts had a phenomenal season for the Falcons last year. Third-round pick. Cleveland could have drafted him, by the way. Quincy Williams in New York, all-pro under Rutenberg. So the more I think about it, the more pluses I see why the Browns were blown away by his interview and wanted to get his mind in the building. When he was a member of the New York Jets, in 3 seasons combined with the Jets, they were first in total defense. This is the New York Jets we're talking about, okay? Like 305.7 yards per game. That was better than any other team in the league, the least given up. Best passing defense in those 3 seasons. Top 5 in tackles for loss. Top 8 in sacks. 9 in scoring defense as well, with 21.1 points per game. Impressive metrics, impressive numbers, and he was learning under Robert Saleh the whole time. The other plus side of this for Cleveland, from their perspective, is the Browns are expected to keep the bulk of their staff on defense. So position coaches that were in the system, that were in the scheme last year, expect them to be back just with a new face calling the plays, and that's Rutenberg. So the scheme's not going to change too much, guys. It's actually exactly what Cleveland wants to do, with a little bit of added spice and freshness and good personality. I think it's perfect for what the Browns were trying to do. And you talk about the system, not only has Rutenberg played in very similar styles of defense, not necessarily scheme fit, but coverage-wise, he has. I mean, check this out. Man coverage, very much at the core of Mike Rutenberg's system. All right? 2025, the Falcons ran cover 1, 17th most in the NFL. Jets did it, 7th most. 23, Jets did it again, the 5th most. The Browns led the NFL in cover 1 in 23 and 25. Okay? That is something that Rutenberg does a lot. The Falcons did it a lot last year as well. Basically, cover 1, think of it, man defense, 5 defenders, tight coverage on receivers, and you have 1 free safety back there. It's the exact type of physical man defense that Schwartz and the Browns would run all season last season. So they're keeping it. They're keeping the system and the scheme, but bringing in a new play caller who will mix it up a little bit, and it's had success with different disguises, especially in the secondary. So now do you like the new DC hire for the Cleveland Browns? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Give me a letter to tell me how you're feeling about our new defensive coordinator, Mike Rutenberg. Would love your guys' opinions. I did see a lot of people saying they are holding out a bit. Let's see how it goes. Absolutely. Opinions are going to change based on what he does. But I am optimistic about it. And so I do like the hire after diving into it much more. And, of course, we shall see how it goes in Cleveland. Hopefully, it goes great. Coming up, Browns fans, you're going to love this other tidbit we've got from what's going on in Atlanta, okay, and how that affects the Cleveland Browns. So stay tuned for that. It'll be fun. But first, let's give a special shout-out to today's sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Shoot your shot on Prize Picks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That is right. Prize Picks is now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dime, every board that much more exciting. So don't miss this chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. I got the app. I've been playing it ever since. Honestly, I love it. Make sure to check if Prize Picks is available in your state today. It probably is. They are available in 50 states. And Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in. Pick from all your favorite sports, anything from basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college basketball, tennis, golf, esports, and more. Join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 sports picks app. Let's get fun today. I've got Matthew Tkachuk, more than half a point, and Scotty Scheffler, more than 4.5 birdies or better on Thursday. You can make lineups just like that with whatever sports you love if you download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Code CLNS. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. All right, look at what Kevin Stefanski said in his press conference for the Atlanta Falcons. This is a direct quote from Stefanski to the fans. Said this: I do believe you can't be good at everything. It is exactly what he said at the stand, verbatim. This has been my problem with him all along. Loser mentality. You can't be good at everything. I know coaches that are striving to be good at everything. I know teams that win the Super Bowl try to be good at all three phases of the game. And Stefanski's up there telling them he's a believer that you can't be good at everything. It's the mentality I didn't want in Cleveland. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Guess I've heard plenty of other coaches say they're trying to be good at everything. He's like, no. You know what Todd Monken said at his intro presser? He said the other question, when he was asked about it, was, how would you envision yourself being unsuccessful? And Monken said, that's not even in my vocabulary. It just isn't. Boom! We got a dog, man. We got the head coach we needed. Motivated, fiery, hungry, ready to go. Stefanski, man, just too even keel, just too game managey. That's why he likes the game managey quarterbacks. That's why the offense doesn't move. He's just trying to do enough. He's just trying not to lose. That was a consistent theme we saw last year. I'm ready to get guys that are trying to win, trying to excel in all areas. And I think Monken's going to be that. So, what do you think, folks? Who would you rather have as your head coach going into next season? Kevin Stefanski or Todd Monken? Type KS if you want Stefanski back. Type TM if you're ready for Monken's season. I'm spamming my TM. I'm fired up. Offensive guy. He's going to hopefully revamp this thing. So get the initials in the comment section of who you would want. And remember, we are subscriber battling the Falcons channel. So if you made it to this part of the video, first of all, you're a real one. Shout out to you. But also, comment that you're hitting that subscribe button to help beat the Falcons fans, because I know Browns fans do it best. Let's beat their new head coach with ours. Shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome. And I will see you with more Browns videos coming up here all week long. Cool? Let's go, Todd Monken. Hyped up for him. Hyped up. What's up? Oh, good. Look at that. Spamming TM. I told you guys. I'm trying to tell you guys all year about Kevin Stefanski. Get him out of here. I saw the Falcons fans were pissed about it, too. You know what's funny? The Falcons fans were also pissed about losing Rutenberg. I literally saw fans on Twitter going, like, in all caps, they were like, no, the Browns got Rutenberg. Apparently, it's going to be he's a gift. We'll take him. We will take him. All right. 2 more shows for the people. And don't forget, the last one will be a Q&A. So, if you want to be in the video, super chat or use the hashtag Browns in that live chat section. Deal-wise, we're at about $20 in super chats so far. If we get to $150, I'll shave the beard clean. And then you guys can make me try to grow it back. I might start doing those deals too. But here's where we're at. So, make me get rid of it for $150 total in supers combined. Next video is we're going to talk about that 6th pick that Cleveland has, okay? There's been some rumors all around. Wait, did I do this right? Yeah, I did it right. We're going to talk about the 6th pick. So, we've talked about linemen a lot for that. which I'm a fan of, but more rumors are coming out that Cleveland should look elsewhere. So we're going to discuss it on the next segment. You better believe we are. In fact, Dion, Coach Prime's got an opinion on this. So get ready. Get set. Are you ready, Mr. JD? Well, if JD's ready, and you guys are ready, then I say we could do it. I like how Rebecca's spamming TM. Let's go, Todd Munkin. Shout out. All right, let's talk about that 6th pick here as the next part of the show. Ready? All right, let us do it. Welcome in, everybody, to today's show. We've got 2 major draft rumors, the 2026 NFL Draft. Deion Sanders weighs in about a prospect that Cleveland should look at number 6. We are going to look at that. And then another one that's getting a lot of traction here. We've talked offensive line a lot on the show for top 6, but these rumors say Cleveland might go elsewhere. So, welcome in to the show. I'm your host, Joey Donahue. I also want to give a special shout out to the members of the Cleveland drinking team. Everybody, clap it up for the fellas and ladies here. Gerard, Brock, Ernie B, ×2, baby. Richard and Bert. Okay, these are our Cleveland drinking team members going forward. What is this, you may ask? How do you get a part of it? Well, we are launching St. Patrick's Day merch to help party hard for the holiday, March 17th. So, if you want to join, limited edition, cool-looking design. It's festive. Got to wear green on St. Patty's Day. But you could do that by repping the Dog Pound. That's what I think makes this awesome. That's what I think makes this fun. That's what I think you're going to get people you know that are Browns fans coming up to you saying, whoa, where'd you get that shirt? That looks sick. I'd rock it. Got to go to chatsports.com/brownsgreen to get it. The Cleveland drinking team. Join it. Let's have some fun. Be festive and party by repping Cleveland, baby. So go to chatsports.com/brownsgreen. Get it now before they run out. Only $29.99. So Coach Prime took it to Twitter and said this: to whom it may concern, Jordyn Tyson is him. His mentality makes him that one. Hashtag Coach Prime. So Deion, the Colorado head coach, said that. And Jordyn Tyson, I think there'd be no question about his skill set or his draft placement here if there was no injury history. And even with it, he's still like a lock first-round pick, no doubt about it. Here's some of his career stats in his collegiate career. 24 is the 1,000-yard receiver. I think what impressed me the most, too, is last year he only had 1 drop. Like, he's got great hands. He's got good route-running ability. He's definitely a talented receiver. You see in 23 he didn't play, though. Again, injuries are the only concern here for Tyson, but he's 6'2", 200 pounds, Arizona State University product. I think yards after catches there for Tyson, too. Gets open. Contested catches, I feel pretty good about him as well. Like, you could throw it up to him. He's got a great catch radius. As a talent and as a wide receiver in a position that Cleveland needs, I'm not out on Tyson at all. But those injuries do concern me. It's not just one. It's like, ACL, MCL in the same year. And look, we need to get Shedeur a wide receiver 1. We need to get a bona fide stud in Cleveland. We need to do that in the first round. But I don't know if Tyson, who hasn't even made it to the NFL yet, has already torn his ACL, MCL, PCL in 2022, had a hamstring injury that kept coming up in 2025. What happens if he gets hurt? We're back in the same hole. It's too big of a risk with pick number 6 to go Jordyn Tyson. It's too big of a risk to take him top 6, in my opinion. And nothing works without an offensive line anyway. But if we trade down, okay, now I'm listening. I still love the idea of trading with the Cowboys to get 2 first-round picks. Then Cleveland could really run this first round and get everything we need right away. But if you're going to go receiver that high, I think you're looking at Carnell Tate, Ohio State product, who kind of has a similar concept if you think about it. Like contested catches, Tate was the best at. Doesn't drop the ball either. Good route running. Just a solid wide receiver that's going to translate to the NFL. Makai Lemon, by the way, he might be wide receiver 1 in this whole class. Like, I'm hearing too much juice on Makai Lemon. He's the next Amon-Ra St. Brown, all right? He's a warrior. He's dedicated. He works hard. He's shifty. He's fast. Kind of everything you want. In today's NFL, Makai Lemon is the type of receiver that low-key succeeds. So, trading down, probably the best scenario so Cleveland could get their stud wide receiver 1. But if you have to take one that early, I think Tyson's going to fall only because of the injuries. But you tell me in the comment section. Pick your favorite wide receiver. If it is Jordyn Tyson, type JT. If it's Carnell Tate, type CT. And you can see the theme. Makai Lemon, type ML. We'll do this by initials. Who is your favorite wide receiver of the big 3 in this draft class? If you had to get one early, give me your favorite down below. Would love the opinion of the ball knowers, the Browns fans that tune in. Give me your favorite in the chat. But rumors don't end there for what Cleveland's going to do with the 6th pick, okay? All of a sudden, there's a lot of discussion about Caleb Downs going 6th overall to the Browns. If he gets past the Giants, if he's there at 6, does Cleveland go best player available? Like straight up, Downs might be the best football player in this class. The one that's going to be an impact player in the NFL right away. The one that's floor is so high, worst case scenario, he's just a decent starter in the league. But safety, people talk about positional value. It's not going to change the franchise. I would also put out there, though, that safety probably more important in today's NFL than it ever has been. Probably was always the least important position on the roster, but gets utilized a lot more today, especially he's like a tackling safety. And I told you guys, Cleveland's going to probably run a lot of cover 1. Downs you feel comfortable with in man defense. Downs you feel comfortable with making open field tackles. I mean, look at what he did last season. 68 tackles. But don't sleep on his coverage stats, too. Like you see, he broke up 4 passes and had 2 interceptions. Also forced 2 fumbles. Also had a sack. He's the player that can do everything at the safety position. And, of course, he's an Ohio State Buckeye. He's also experienced. He's a vet in college football, essentially. Here are his career stats that you can see, and he has always been balling and tackling and breaking up passes. Like, Downs is that dude, and if you just want to go, hey, we need a hit on this pick and take Downs, it's something to consider. But again, it's certainly not going to change the Browns franchise right now getting a safety. They need offensive line and wide receiver. Albert Breer, though, adds on to this concept. NFL Insider said, I feel comfortable saying Caleb Downs is the best football player in the draft class. He won't be the first pick. You have to consider upside, positional value, all that. There are guys with more of that, but no one in the class is a better football player. Dane Brugler responded to this tweet. He's a draft expert of the Athletic and said, fun question. I've been asking scouts. Caleb Downs is the best safety prospect you've personally scouted since, and a few of them said, ever. Ever. To the next Ed Reed? I mean, what are we talking about right now? What are you doing to me? I want offensive line. That's been my take. I know we need a wide receiver. Why are you making me question this? Why are you making me think, dang, if we let Caleb Downs slip, am I going to regret that? I don't know. We did do a best player available approach last draft, and that is the class that everyone says Cleveland absolutely smashed it, right? You got your, Schlesinger. You got some studs that you doesn't necessarily need position of need every time. Like, I don't know. Did we need D-line right away? But no, Cleveland loved Mason Graham. Like, you got guys that you just thought were going to be great, and Schlesinger absolutely fits that mold. But we desperately need offensive line. We need wide receiver, right? And so that's the issue. If you do that approach, if you take Caleb Downs with the 6th pick, you're ultimately going to leave some holes unfilled. We're not going to be as good next year with the BPA approach, but you're going to set up for the future. You're going to be great in a few years. Tell you that. I mean, you just keep building like this. You're building, you're building, you're building. And as fans, we just aren't that patient. Maybe we'd rather, hey, let's just get a good O-line so we can actually compete here. Okay? And that is the fun of the draft. That's the beauty of draft strategy. That's why I love talking about it. That's why I can't wait for the draft to come here and see what Cleveland does with these 2 first-round picks. But you have to factor all of this into the equation, right? Positional need, but also, unfortunately, this draft, it's not the best offensive line draft. It's not the best quarterback draft. It's not the best running back draft. This is a loaded defensive draft that has some great wide receivers as well. So you tell me, should the Browns draft Caleb Downs? Type Y for yes, type N for no. You let me know in the comments section down below what you would do with that 6th pick. Other thing I think you could do with Caleb Downs here is people are going to pursue him heavy. The Cowboys are going to pursue him heavy. I think the dream scenario is if you're not going to take him and he's there, you trade that pick. You trade down because teams are going to want him. And what Cleveland could do is if you're going to pass on him anyway to take like Maui Noah or a receiver that you love, you might as well trade the pick, get more draft capital, and then you can get the guy that you want a couple picks later. Think about it as if the Browns are sitting there at pick 6. Both offensive linemen are available, Fano and Maui Noah. If both of them are there, Cleveland would probably trade down to get one of them, Because chances are, if they're there at 6, one of them will fall to 12 where Cleveland could trade down to. You could think that's the same approach with the top wide receivers, though. If Lemon, Tate, and Tyson are still there at 6, Cleveland could trade down and get their star wide receiver. I think the way this draft is structured, with all the defensive talent going to go right away at the top, guys like David Bailey, perhaps a Reuben Bain, a Caleb Downs for sure, perhaps a Sonny Styles, those guys are studs that are going to go early. So, the way this draft class is structured, perhaps Cleveland trades down and can still get the guy that they want in the first round, but also some added picks. I think that's the dream scenario. That's what I'm hoping for, but anything could happen on draft day. We'll see how it all shakes out. I'm going to be tweeting about rumors every day, though, for Cleveland. So make sure you give me a follow, Joey070. And on Instagram and TikTok, I'll post some fun short-form content on all 3 of these platforms. So don't miss out if you love the Brownies. That's where you can find me. Do appreciate you guys all being here with me today. And as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've been your host, Joey O'Donohue. You guys are the best. Can't wait for the draft. Let's go, Browns. Cool. Man, draft season's fun. Yeah, that's the thing, right, Stefan? We have 0 offensive line starters right now. I think you just have to get linemen. Ooh, the Niners just re-signed an offensive lineman. Pretty cool. That's right, Ninja Cow. As awesome as Caleb Downs is, I think you just got to trade the pick down and get your positions of need. Or if he goes at 5 and he's not even there, great. Just take your offensive lineman. Bagel night. It's awesome, Joshua Miller. I could use a good bagel, man. I could use a good bagel. Last thing we're going to do today is that Q&A. So, if you haven't already, make sure you get a question in or a take that you want us to react to here by using the hashtag Browns or Super Chat, and we'll automatically put you in and shout you out for being a part of the show. I would send one in, get automatically featured in the Q&A, and try to make me shave. That will be the last segment of today's show. Don't miss out on that. Lando said, I called it last year, trade down, and I'd do it again. That's what I'm saying. And it kind of worked last year. When Cleveland traded that pick, they got picks they used on Mason Graham, pick they used on Quinshon Judkins, pick they used on Dylan Sampson, and they got a first-round pick this year, 24th overall pick. Probably could have been better. I don't think people expected the Jaguars to turn around like they did. First-year coach Liam Cohen. Oh, that's awesome. Joshua Miller said he sent in his question from last night about Caleb Downs. Landon, send 6 and 70 to Dallas for 12 and 20. Let's do it. Let's do it, Lando. That's the move right there. That is the move. I mean, yeah, Linderbaum's worth it. If he would come and follow Monken here, he'll be a little pricey, but he's the best lineman on the market right now in free agency. Yeah. Throw a hashtag Browns on that too, Stefan, if you want. We can try to get you in the mailbag or super chat, and we'll automatically put you guys in the show for funsies. Oh, yeah? JD says we need some more questions. So, comment with the hashtag Browns, more questions it takes, or super chat and get on. Yeah. Really? Do you have all three? Yeah. Like lowercase hashtag Browns, uppercase hashtag Browns. Cool. Cool. All right. Okay. That should probably work. But all right. Like I said, if you guys want to get your questions in, put hashtag Browns like that next to, boom, just like Lando just did right there. All right. Shall we? Shall we, JD? Do the mailbag? JD's looking right now. All right. Cool. Like I said, you guys can get in by super chatting here while we're filming, and we'll throw you up. I mean, yeah, probably more like, usually longer than that, but. There's fun. There's one from Ryan. I mean, I feel like we have enough. Yeah, I think we got enough. All right, cool. Let's do it. But again, if you guys super chat, we'll make room for yours here as we're filming. So, got about 15 minutes to get those in. And let's get into the Q&A on today's show. Get ready. Get set. Let's do it. We're answering Browns fans' questions on today's show. And before we get into that, what all the Browns fans are wondering, I want to know if you were a Browns reporter and you could ask Andrew Berry one question. Comment, what would it be? What would you ask the Browns GM if you had a chance? You're talking to him one-on-one. You're face-to-face. You get one question. It could be anything you would want Berry to answer. What would it be? Go down there, down below. I think that is a fun question to start off today's show. And welcome in. I'm your host, Joey O'Donohue. We will start with our first Super Chat question. and that is from Chris. Appreciate you, my guy. Says wide receiver at pick 6, offensive tackle at 24. That's a totally fine strategy. You could argue flipping it as well. Go offensive line at 6, like Mauino or Fauno, and then wide receiver at 24. You hope someone like Denzel Boston falls. But the way this draft is shaking out, I wouldn't be mad at that at all either. You get your favorite wide receiver at 6, Carnell Tate or Makai Lemon, maybe Jordyn Tyson. But I think Lemon and Tate are studs. Then at 24, Monroe Freeling perhaps is available. Caleb Lomu, a little bit riskier, but high upside. And then there is Oliva Vega Ioane, the Penn State guard. Just no doubt, he's the best guard in the class. He gets the 24, I'm in on it. So I like the strategy here from Chris. Shout out to you for the first question of the day. Next up, we have got one from Barry Browns 33. Should the Browns trade for Anthony Richardson? Interesting question here. If you didn't hear, seems like Anthony Richardson is going to be on the move this offseason. These rumors have been heating up. There's an ESPN report that it's inevitable Anthony Richardson requests a trade. First of all, you got to tell me price. But the thing with Richardson is I think a lot of Browns fans are being like, we can't just keep taking other teams' garbage. And they say another man's trash, another man's treasure. Yeah, the Browns don't turn trash into treasure. Okay, we do the opposite. So I don't think that Richardson would solve any problems for Cleveland. You know, pros is he's still young and on a rookie deal and does have some upside. So if he's going to be here really cheap, I'd rather just run with Shedeur Sanders next year. Like, I don't think we need to make a trade for another young quarterback here like Richardson. But he does play like Todd Monken likes, except Richardson's just not accurate. He is a big arm, I'll tell you that. He could launch that thing down the field, but not on target. So maybe the right coach could develop into a good prospect, but I just don't see that in Richardson's game. So you tell me, would you want the Browns to trade for Anthony Richardson? Why for yes and for no? Get a letter in the comments section down below. I actually have not given up on Richardson as a prospect. I just don't think that would benefit Cleveland next year. We've got a lot of other stuff we need to go trade for and sign. Harry, what is your thoughts about getting Tyreek Hill for a year? Interesting question here from Harry. Let's see. Tyreek Hill on the market right now probably gets a 1-year deal. It's probably $9 to $11 million a year for that year. Character issues with Tyreek Hill come into question. Legal trouble. Injury history. I mean, is Tyreek Hill... Guys, it wasn't just the ACL. The leg injury was brutal. Like, he might not be ready week 1 next year. Funny enough, had an NFL insider share that an AFC team asked her about Tyreek Hill's timeline. She wouldn't say what team it was, but people were commenting, was it the Browns? Was it the Browns? 1 year, usually not the worst idea, and we do need a wide receiver 1. It sounds like a Cleveland move. I don't think the deal gets done, though, Harry. But I do appreciate the question. George with the $10 super chat. Shout out to you, my friend. I like the Cowboys trade back to get 3 firsts for the Browns. It's the only trade I accept. Dude, I love that, George, and I'm glad you brought that up. This is a dream scenario for Cleveland, is to get 3 first-round picks this year by trading back. I think we want to trade back anyway. A lot of players that Cleveland could be targeting could be available by trading back. They're going to make this decision, George, and this is what I love about the draft. This is what makes it so fun, is that this is what makes it look like, oh, they're shocking the world. They're trading it right. They're trading the pick. You get the notification, oh my gosh, the Browns are trading the pick. That decision gets made in that second, okay? When you see who's available at 6, if there are multiple linemen available, Cleveland will trade down because they could still get who they want and then get a haul. Same thing with multiple wide receivers if they're available at 6. So this would be perfect. The Browns did get 3 first-round picks this year, 12, 20, and 24. I mean, you could draft your star wide receiver, 2 offensive linemen, and you'd smash the first round and rebuild this thing quicker than possible. So shout out to George Gombatch for the $10 super chat in question. Next, let's go to Kylo. Should we sign the offensive line free agent from the Baltimore Ravens? I think you're referring to Tyler Linderbaum, and that is a great question from Kylo. Look, he's the best offensive lineman on the market, I'm told. He's going to be a little bit pricier, perhaps, but he's a stud center. Worked with Todd Monken, worked with the Browns offensive line coach now, George Warhop, who was the Ravens OL coach. So there's familiarity there. It's definitely a rumor worth talking about that Linderbaum could follow Monken from Baltimore to Cleveland. And it's our biggest position of need. I don't know that Posick comes back and plays well. I don't know that he was playing well when he was healthy. So absolutely, Tyler Linderbaum beefs up that Browns offensive line. I am so in on Cleveland getting Linderbaum. It's the perfect scenario to sign him up and shore up that offensive line. So appreciate you for that question, Kylo. Shout out to you, my friend, for that one. We're going to have plenty more to hit, okay, of course, on today's show. But let's give a special shout out to Prize Picks before we go forward. Today's sponsor, shoot your shot on Prize Picks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right. Prize Picks is now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dime, every board that much more exciting. So don't miss this chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. I got the app, and I've been playing it ever since. I love it. Make sure to check if Prize Picks is available in your state. It probably is. They're available in 50 states. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if you get your picks right, you can cash in. Pick from all your favorite sports. Anything from basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college basketball, tennis, golf, esports, and more. Join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 sports picks app. Here's my lineup. We're getting fun. I made it this week. Matthew Tkachuk, more than half a point. Scotty Scheffler, more than 4.5 birdies. You make lineups just like that if you download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. All right, let's get to our next question. I'm actually getting some breaking news right here. We're filming this on Wednesday, so you guys are going to see this a couple days later. But literally, Wyatt Teller just said goodbye to Cleveland on social media, and so it sounds like he is moving on in free agency, and that is why Joshua Miller says we got to grab an offensive tackle with pick 6. Move up for Makai Lemon if he lasts into the mid to late teens. Ooh, that's an interesting thought. See, the thing with the Browns, Josh, though, I don't know if trading up's in our best interest here, unless you can get like if you're not moving up too many spots, you don't have to give up anything more than like a third or something. Yeah, that's great to move up and get Lemon because I love him and Maui Noah at pick 6. So shout out to Joshua Miller for that scenario and that situation. That would be a great idea. All right, next up, Lando. Should we bring in George Pickens for half our available cap space? Half of our available cap space. Yeah, no, I don't think so. George Pickens probably going to get franchise tagged and traded even. Head case, don't need him on the Browns, to be honest with you. This draft class is loaded with good receivers. George Pickens, he's a better talent than Jerry Jeudy right now, but even worse of an attitude. Don't need him on the team. He's a former Pittsburgh Steeler. He picks fights with the Browns. Sorry, I don't need us going out and signing Pickens. I'd rather get somebody else. Clint Spencer, what's going on with JOK? Good question. The hope for Cleveland is that JOK can come back and be healthy and ball out with Schlesinger. That linebacker tandem would just be so special in Cleveland. His injury was brutal. We can't lie about that. But I would love to remain optimistic and say that JOK could play again for the Cleveland Browns some point next season. So I'll keep you posted on that. Stay tuned. That's why you subscribe. I will have that for you, Clint, coming soon. Mike Nintendo. Hashtag Browns, what would you do in free agency this year? It's a good question from Mike Nintendo. Listen, Cleveland's going to create cap space in a couple different ways. One, restructure Denzel Ward's contract, I believe, is a move they will do once again. Probably try to restructure Watson's too. please, Watson, can you give us a break, man? Let's free up some space here. You're signing a lineman. I think Tyler Linderbaum's a good one for Cleveland. Maybe Rasheed Walker, who was playing with the Packers last year at tackle. I would like Linderbaum, though. I think you need a surefire, just stud signing in free agency at the offensive line. Then I think Isaiah Likely's a candidate to really follow Monken to Cleveland, too. But he's also rumored to be in the mix with the Patriots and a contending team at tight end. So, I like Likely. He's athletic and he's a good blocker. But that's what I would do is probably get those two former Ravens, funny enough, to follow Monken, make immediate impact on the Browns' offense. Ninja Cow. Will Pons be available day 2 in the draft? That's a great question here from Ninja Cow. I've seen mock drafts where he is and when he isn't. I think we're kind of hoping here, Ninja Cow, that he's available in day 2 late, because I don't think Cleveland, will take a corner that high. So I do appreciate the question. There's a possibility he is available early day 2 for sure. But I think it is wishful thinking here. I don't think Cleveland's going to be in the mix to get Pons. They're looking at O-line, wide receiver, corner late. Maybe Igbino's son, the Ohio State corner, could be a real option for Cleveland. So consider that. But I do appreciate you guys for asking all the questions and hanging out with me. If you have more questions for me, you can go to my Twitter, Joey070. Ask me whatever you want. I'm active on there. I respond on there. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do appreciate you all so much for being here with me. And if you want to be part of videos just like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's totally free. Appreciate you all so much, and I will see you soon on the next Browns Report episode. Oh, boy. Wyatt Teller's gone, folks. Wyatt Teller's gone. All right, we're live for Wyatt Teller, folks. All right, I think I'm going to do a short. I think we have to do a video, though, too. Guys, Wyatt Teller is testing the market. He will not be back in Cleveland. He will not be back in Cleveland. Shout out to Stefan with the 5. All right, I think what we're going to do is we got to go talk about this Teller situation, guys. So I think what we're going to do is hop off live. Shout out to Stefan, though. Wes Cully, yeah. All right, yeah, cool. We got to make a video on the Teller situation for you guys. What Cleveland could do now to replace him. Hop off. See what Harrison thinks. Basically, why Teller's going to leave, guys. All right. Guys. Well, good timing. Hey, shout out to Stefan. He said, appreciate your work and greetings from Germany. Shout out to you, my friend. Shout out to you. Okay? You know this is what we do. We're on the grind. And that's why we're about to go make another breaking news video for you guys. So, make sure you're subscribed. Stay tuned, all right? Go grab a snack and then come right back to the channel because I got to post a video here. Hey, shout out to Josh Norris for the $5 super chat as well. Said, do you think we should trade Gabriel? I say we do. Roll with Shador. Bring in a vet as a backup. Dude, absolutely. Shout out to Josh Norris. Trade Gabriel. Get whatever pick you can for him. At least a 5th, hopefully. He just wasn't good last year. He's not a good prospect. I'm sorry. I never thought he was. Shador. Keep Shador. Watson's your veteran backup. Perhaps you bring in another one too, which I think they will. So, shout out to you, Josh. I agree with that take. Perhaps we can ship Gabriel to Atlanta, That would be ideal. Dude, Carly Teller's part of this post, who was mad at Stefanski last year. Dude, no more Wyatt Teller, guys. Ezra Cleveland. I made a vid on him the other day, too. All right, shout out Josh Norris. There it is. I'm with you. Trade Dylan Gabriel. Keep Shador. That's the plan. I like it. All right, you guys. We're going to hop off here and go break the news for you guys. So, shout out to everybody that's been hanging out with us today. And I will see you guys very soon on the next Browns Report video. Be the first one to like it and comment on it. I'll see you guys soon for Browns News.